I'm gonna get straight into this. The most important principle for building a successful side hustle or business is provide value a lot of people are willing to pay for. So the concept of providing value is all about solving a problem. Like for example, if you take a social media marketing agency as an example, the problem that they're solving is that local businesses don't have the ability and the knowledge to market themselves on social media. So a social media marketing agency would take their skills, provide them for local businesses so that they can reach larger customers, more customers using social media like Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that. They have assessed the problem is that local businesses have difficulty leveraging social media to get customers, get leads. A social media marketing agency provides value to these local businesses by solving their problem. They provide them with the social media services needed to get to new clients, get new leads, and stuff like that. So to recap, the first part of this is to provide value. You want to solve a problem that other people are facing, and by doing that, you provide value. The second part of this is that there has to be people willing to pay for this value you're providing or the solution you're providing. So for example, the biggest mistake I made with my tutoring business in high school is that even though I was providing value, I was providing a solution, no one was willing to really pay for the solution I was providing. High school students are broke, they didn't really care about it, and honestly, no one really cares about school that much to be willing to pay for extra tutoring services. So there's no one really willing to pay for the value that I was providing. Any business we run, we're going to be super optimistic at the start about how important our business is, right? Like as soon as we get a business idea in our head, we're like, oh my God, this is the most revolutionary thing. We're going to make this cool app that's going to solve all these problems. And this is going to be so important and so beneficial. It's going to become a multi-million dollar project. Let's just take a step back. I want you to really be objective with yourself and think about it. Are you solving a problem that people care about? People are going to be willing to pay for a solution for. There's so many problems surrounding us on a day-to-day basis, but we're not going to be willing to pay for a solution for every single one of those problems. Like for example, if the commute is loud, we're willing to pay for headphones and stuff like that to make our commute a more enjoyable experience. If our toothbrush is not really brushing properly, I don't think any of us care that much to go invest into a next high-level toothbrush. So the point I'm trying to make is, yes, you want to provide value and you want to solve a problem, but you want to make sure you're solving a problem that's worth solving. Are other people going to pay for the solution you're providing? Because if they're not, you're not going to make any money out of your business. Now, the third part to this is a lot of people have to be willing to pay. Only if you have a large number of people willing to pay for your solution will you be even able to make enough money for you to achieve financial freedom, become wealthy, and stuff like that. Now, the amount of people that you need that are willing to pay for your product or service also depends on the price point of your product or service. Like for example, if you're selling a $10 product, right? For you to make $10,000, you would need 1,000 people to pay for your product. But instead, let's say you're selling a $1,000 course. If you're selling a $1,000 course, you only need 10 people to buy your course for you to get $10,000. And this is the concept of high ticket client. If you're willing to provide a product or service to rich people, high ticket clients, they're going to be able and willing to pay more money for your product or service. Like think about a simple haircut business. Say you're giving haircuts to a random person. You might be able to charge $20, $25, $30. Or you're giving specialized wedding haircuts to the groom. You're going to be able to charge $200, $300, $400 for a haircut. The point is, at that point, the groom is a richer person. They're willing to pay more. So you can charge them more money. A person walking down the street, they're not going to be willing to pay $400 for a haircut. You can't charge them that much money. If you're able to provide a product or service to a person who's willing to pay more money, you're going to be able to make more money faster and more quickly. And one more thing about having high ticket clients or like serving rich people is that they're way easier to deal with than the normal person. Rich people are willing to pay way more money, and for them, $1,000 or $10,000 product or service might actually not be that much money for them in their perspective, right? So they won't ask that many questions. They won't give you so many comments or suggestions or anything like that. They're just gonna be like, okay, it's $10,000, cool, here you go. And they'll take their product or service and call it a day. But if you want to charge a normal person that same amount of money, they have so many questions, they have so many concerns, and you probably have to deal with all that. So dealing with rich, high-ticket clients is probably easier for you. So when you're starting a business or starting a side hustle, that's also something you want to keep in mind. Another thing, to refer back to the $10 product versus $1,000 product, if you have a $1,000 product and you only have 10 customers, that's only 10 people you have to deal with. But if you have a $10 product and you have 1,000 customers, that's 1,000 people you have to deal with, right? So 10 people or 1,000 people, I think everyone understands that dealing with less people is way less work. So this is the path you want to take when building a side hustle or business. To take this even further, there's two types of businesses. There's B2C, which is business to customer, and there's B2B, which is business to business. B2C is the services and the products we usually think about, right? So think about if you go to a mall, you're being sold a product, the business, like the store, is selling directly to the customer, you. If you're looking at my tutoring establishment from high school, tutoring establishment was a business, it was providing a service to customers, which are students. B2B, on the other hand, is when a business provides services or products to another business. For example, a social media marketing agency is a business. It's providing its services to other businesses, such as local coffee shops, local retail stores, and stuff like that. It's directly serving businesses rather than people. And that's the difference between B2C and B2B. So now to connect back to this concept of high-ticket clients, B2B tends to act more like high-ticket clients, right? Businesses, for them, your product or your service is just another expense on the income sheet. But on the other hand, for customers, they have to pay out of their pocket, they have to pay from their bank account for your product or service. Businesses are more likely to pay way more and willing to spend more on products and services compared to customers. So if you're able to create a business catered towards other businesses, there's more chances that you'll succeed because those customers that you're serving now, the businesses, have more money to pay. So always think about who is the target customer. Is the target customer you're trying to serve willing and able to pay the amount of money you need for your business to be a success? If the answer is no, as good as your product is, there's no point in running that business. So that's why I highly recommend focusing on high-ticket clients and B2B businesses. So to wrap this up, I want to connect back to what this principle is all about, providing value. If you're not providing enough value, you can't charge that much money. So even if the customer is rich, you first have to be able to provide a lot of value to the customer. And then you have to see who's willing to pay for the lot of value you're providing. And if you're able to target high-ticket clients or other businesses, you're way more likely to get them, land them as customers and actually get your business to grow, earn money, and so on. In my personal opinion, the concepts that I talked about in this video kind of fit in this bigger picture of becoming rich. And if you're someone who wants to become rich, who wants to build a successful side hustle or business, who wants to achieve financial freedom, what I want you to do is scroll down to the comments and click on the link in my pinned comment, because that link is going to take you to an in-depth video about how to build a successful side hustle or business. It's going to touch upon concepts like the reality of side hustles or business. It's going to talk about why you want financial freedom in the first place, compare different ways to getting to financial freedom and becoming rich. And I'm sure that video is going to be super useful for you. So make sure to check that out. And with that being said, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.